There is a currency you have been spending recklessly your entire life. You give it to people who disrespect you, to arguments that change nothing, to situations that drain everything, to a world that has learned, because you taught it, that you will always show up, always respond, always give. That currency is your attention. And because you hand it out freely to anyone who provokes you, anyone who needs you, anyone who pulls at the thread, it has become worthless, not to them, to you. The most powerful move available to any human being is not the perfect argument, not the devastating comeback, not the final word that ends the conversation in your favor. It is the deliberate, chosen, weaponized decision to give nothing. And the Stoics did not call this passivity. They called it the highest form of self-mastery available to a free mind. The American Psychological Association found that the average adult makes between 150 and 200 micro-decisions per day about where to direct their attention. The majority of those decisions, documented across multiple studies, are reactive, triggered by external stimulus, not chosen, not deliberate, automatic, which means the average person is not living their life. They are responding to it. Neuroscientist Dr. Gloria Mark at the University of California found something more specific and more damaging. Every time your attention is hijacked by a notification, a comment, a provocation that pulls you in, it takes an average of 23 minutes for your brain to return to its original level of focus. 23 minutes per hijack, multiple times per day. The mathematics of what that costs across a week, a month, a year, is a life. Not dramatic moments of loss. The accumulated, quiet, never-noticed theft of your most irreplaceable resource. History confirms what the data shows. The Roman Emperor Domitian, who reigned in the generation before Marcus Aurelius, was consumed by reactivity. He responded to every criticism, executed every dissenter, gave his attention to every threat, real and imagined. He died paranoid, isolated, assassinated by the very people he had spent his reign trying to control. The man who gave his attention to everything ended up with nothing worth protecting. Marcus Aurelius, who came after, who studied this exact pattern, built his entire philosophy around a different principle. He called it the economy of attention, the deliberate governance of where the mind agrees to go. And he practiced it in the most demanding conditions any leader has ever faced. Marcus Aurelius governed Rome from inside a court that was specifically designed to steal his attention. Senators who flattered him publicly and conspired privately. Advisors who manufactured crises to keep themselves indispensable. Men who measured their own importance by how much of the emperor's focus they could command. Every day, the court presented Marcus with 100 reasons to react. 100 provocations, 100 invitations to give his attention to things that did not deserve it. And in the Meditations, the private journal he wrote for no one but himself, he documented the practice he returned to every single morning to resist every single one of them. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. Not the insult from yesterday, not the threat from tomorrow, not the senator's opinion, not the general's maneuver. This moment, this decision, this choice about where the mind goes next." He also wrote, and this is the line that cuts through the entire pattern of reactive attention spending. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, not the quality of your arguments, not how well you defended yourself, not whether you got the last word, the quality of what you allow to live inside your mind. And Marcus was precise about the mechanism of that allowance. Every time you react, every time you give your attention to a provocation that did not deserve it, you are not just losing 23 minutes. You are practicing the identity of a man who can be moved without his permission. And what you practice is what you become. He called the alternative the discipline of assent, the deliberate, daily choice about what the mind agrees to engage with. Not suppression, not indifference, governance. The complete, settled authority of a man who has decided that his attention is a premium resource, and it will be deployed entirely on his own terms. So why does the pattern persist? Why do intelligent, self-aware people who can feel the drain of every hijacked moment, keep giving their attention to things and people that have proven they will waste it? 3 mechanisms, each one compounding the others. The first, reaction has been confused with presence. There is a belief operating beneath the level where most people examine it. That being present means responding to everything. That being engaged means being available to every demand. That being a person who cares means being a person who reacts, visibly, immediately, demonstrably, to every provocation that arrives. This is not presence. This is servitude. Real presence, Stoic presence, is the ability to be fully in a moment without being consumed by it, to observe without entangling, to hear without being hooked, to be there, completely, and still be the one deciding what that moment gets from you. The man who reacts to everything is not fully present anywhere. He is perpetually somewhere else. In the argument that just ended, in the response he is constructing, in the next provocation he is already bracing for. Marcus was present in every room he entered, not because he responded to everything in it, because he had decided, in advance, what each room was worth, and gave it exactly that. No more. The second, the need to be right has been disguised as the pursuit of truth. In every argument that a person stays in past the point where reason has failed, there is a moment where the pursuit of truth quietly exits the conversation, and the ego steps in wearing its clothes. You know the argument is unwinnable. You know the other person is not operating from logic. You know nothing you say will change what they believe. And you stay anyway. Not for truth. For the last word. Seneca named this with the precision of a man who had watched it destroy careers, relationships, and reigns. To be angry is to punish yourself for the mistakes of another. Every minute you remain in an argument that has already ended, that only continues because your ego cannot tolerate the image of someone walking away believing they won. You are not punishing them. You are torturing yourself with your own attention. On their behalf, I want you to picture a rope. Someone on the other end pulling with everything they have. You are pulling back, straining, determined not to lose. Now, what happens if you simply let go? They do not win. They fall backwards into the space where your resistance used to be. And you, still standing exactly where you were, are suddenly free. This is what happens when you stop reacting to someone who is trying to provoke you. You do not lose the exchange. You remove yourself from it entirely. They are left holding a rope attached to nothing. Their provocation lands on silence. Their manipulation finds no purchase. And you, who gave them nothing, walk away with everything intact. The art of ignoring is not the failure to engage. It is the decision to let go of the rope, deliberately, without drama, without announcement, and simply continue in the direction that was always yours. The third, and the one that requires the most honesty to examine. Most people are giving their attention to external drama because the internal silence is too loud to sit with. The scrolling, the arguing, the constant reaching for the next stimulus is not always about the thing being reached for. It is often about the thing being avoided. The thought, the decision, the version of yourself that is waiting quietly in the space between reactions. The one you have not yet had the stillness to meet. Seneca wrote, and this is the line most people read quickly and understand slowly. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it. Not in dramatic moments of waste. In the accumulated, ordinary, unremarkable minutes spent giving attention to things that were never going to give anything back. The comment that pulled you in for an hour. The argument you rehearsed in the shower for 3 days. The opinion of a person you do not even respect. Living rent-free in the most valuable real estate available. Your mind. The art of ignoring begins not with other people. It begins with the decision, made quietly, made specifically, made tonight, about what you are no longer willing to let in. Here is what you actually do. Not as a philosophy, as a practice. Starting tonight. Practice 1, the attention audit. Tonight, before you sleep, write down 3 things that received your attention today that did not deserve it. Not the important things. The ones that pulled you in and gave nothing back. The comment. The argument. The person's opinion you turned over for hours. Write them down. And next to each one, write what you could have given that same unit of attention to instead. 1 entry. 3 things. Every night for 7 days. By day 7, you will have a precise map of where your attention leaks. And you cannot close a leak you have not located. Practice 2, the rope drop. The next time you feel the urge to react, to defend, to explain, to get the last word, pause. Ask one question. Is this worth 23 minutes of my focus? Not whether you are right. Whether the engagement is worth what it will cost you in the hour that follows. If the answer is no, drop the rope. No announcement. No dramatic exit. No parting shot. Simply, nothing. The silence you leave is not emptiness. It is the most complete statement available to a governed mind. And it is the one they cannot respond to. Practice 3. The attention reclamation. Identify one person in your life who consistently receives your attention without earning it. Not with malice. With honesty. One person whose presence consistently leaves you drained, whose words consistently pull you somewhere you did not choose to go. And make one specific decision about how much access they have to your focus starting tomorrow. Not a confrontation. Not an explanation. A decision. Made privately. Held firmly. Marcus did not announce to his court which conversations he would not engage. He simply did not engage them. The decision was his. The implementation was quiet. The result was sovereignty. Practice 4. The morning governance. Tomorrow morning, before the phone, before the news, before the first external input, spend 5 minutes deciding what today deserves. Not what is demanding your attention. What deserves it? Your work. One relationship that gives what it takes. One goal that is waiting for the focus you have been giving to other people's chaos. Write it down. Read it before you open anything. And when the first hijack arrives, and it will arrive, you already know where you are going. You are not available for redirection. You have already decided. You came into this video spending a currency you did not know was being taken. Your attention, given freely to everything that demanded it, to everyone who provoked it, to every argument, every comment, every opinion of every person who had not earned the right to occupy your mind. Hemorrhaging quietly from every open gate you forgot to close. Marcus Aurelius governed Rome for 19 years inside a court full of people who wanted exactly one thing from him. His reaction, his engagement, his attention, the confirmation that they had enough power to move him. He gave them none of it. Not because he felt nothing, because he had decided, precisely, deliberately, every single morning, that his mind was his. That nothing entered it without his permission. That his attention was a resource of finite and irreplaceable value, and it would be deployed on his terms alone. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. Not the provocation from this morning. Not the argument from last week. Not the opinion of the person who has been living in your head without paying a single day's rent. This moment, this decision, this choice about where the mind goes next. The world will not stop trying to take from you. The provocations will not end. The drama will not resolve itself. The people who feed on your reaction will not stop reaching for it. But here is the truth that changes everything. They only have what you give them. And you have been giving far too much to far too many for far too long. Not because you are weak. Because no one ever told you that the most powerful thing you can do in any room is nothing. Withdraw the attention. Close the gates. Govern the mind. And let them discover, for the first time, what it feels like to reach for you. And find nothing there. Subscribe to the Inner Citadel. This is where the governed mind is built, one decision at a time, for the people who are done giving their power away. I'll see you in the next one.